Hey everyone, I'm 25, female, and my parents separated when I was 11. This separation was because of my father's abusive nature and tendency to take his rage out on my mother. Owing to this, my mother and I moved out the moment she could manage the money that would have ensured us a place for more than 3 months. Since we moved out, my parents got their much needed divorce after 2 years of argument over alimony and custody. But the end of the verdict was that my custody will go to my mother, and in return, she would not get any alimony from my dad. My mom accepted it because she did not want my father to drag the whole ordeal any further. Because of this decision, our first few years of living separately were incredibly hard on both of us. On top of that, getting her heart broken by my father, who was her first love, really took a toll on my mother. It was almost like she emotionally reverted into becoming a child. She was extremely emotionally immature. I can't really say if she was always that way, but I realized that I had to be the adult one between us when I was 13. It was hard being a kid and trying to take care of the family at the same time while my mom, the adult of the family, was emotionally completely checked out. As if it wasn't enough, my mom was desperate for love. She tried to find a father figure for me often, and understandably, it did not work out the way she imagined it would. More often than not, the men either used my mother for sex or for her giving nature and got the money or other services from her and then dumped her. It hurt to see her in so much pain. And seeing so many trashy men, I started becoming rather uninterested in relationships. When I was 17, my mom met my stepdad. My stepdad is a step up from everything that my mom had been going through. He respected me as her daughter, and often he talked to me like I was his equal, and my opinion mattered in their relationship as it involved me. It was finally amazing to see my mom happy with someone who was not waiting to use her. Their relationship was rather smooth sailing, and the wedding was very much inevitable. When I heard that he had proposed to her, I was truly the happiest between us. I wanted my mom to be happy, and I was excited about it. But right after the engagement, I got to meet with someone I was not too happy about meeting. My stepdad is divorced, and while I knew he had a daughter from the previous marriage, I had never met her throughout their relationship. However, right after their engagement was announced, my stepsister came into the picture. She was estranged from my stepdad, and yet she was upset with him for not informing her about my mother. When we met for the first time at this engagement dinner that stepdad planned out for everyone close to us, she made an offhand comment about how she will inform her mother about the downgrade. I'm pretty sure she was referring to my mother being that downgrade, but she swore up and down she was referring to the decor of the house, as she hadn't been here for the past 4 years. It was a huge, snarky Cold War between me and her. I did not get along with her at all, but I still went through everything because I wanted to make sure my mother's wedding day was perfect. Once the wedding was done, I got the good news that my stepsister will be going back to live with her mother, as she has been for the past 4 years, and I wasn't expected to see her more than once every year. That was a great plan that I could get behind. They got married when I was 20, and it's been 5 years already. In these 5 years, I have finished my degree in fashion design and have started working at a wedding boutique as a designer. On top of that, for the past 3 years, I have been in a lovely and stable relationship with my boyfriend, which honestly, I don't know how I managed. But everything came crashing down 5 months ago. My stepsister came over after spending 3 years in Spain and wanted to spend time with my stepdad. That's fine. What was not fine was her eyeing my boyfriend every time he came over. I tried to not worry too much about it, but when I started noticing how touchy-feely she was being with my boyfriend, it almost put me in panic mode. I have never been the jealous sort of girl, but seeing her eyeing him up, touching him, and being oh so friendly made me a little crazy, I won't lie. I suppose that is what pushed my boyfriend to cheat on me with her. It was the whole forbidden fruit tastes better thing. I came home a little earlier to find them entangled on the couch. It was surprising, but somewhere it did not hurt. I cannot quite tell why. I suppose when I noticed my boyfriend enjoying the looks she was giving him, I figured that he was going to do it, and mentally somewhere I was prepared for it. I don't know, but either way, when I saw them in that compromising position, the relationship ended on the spot, and my stepsister did not even make any excuses. It was like, yes, I took your man, and what? What are you going to do about it? It was strange. So fast forward to now, and what do you know? My stepsister insists that it is true love between them. She insisted that they will get married, and she would love it if I could design the dress for her. I refused her, obviously, because there wasn't even a chance in hell that I was going to say yes. But she decided to go to my mom and ask her to help convince me, and now my mother is insisting I should be a good sister and make a dress for her. I do not know how I should brush this off. My mom is convinced that this is true love and that I should support this union by designing the dress. What should I do? I don't want to be TA, but I really have no intention of supporting the wedding. Update 1. Hey everyone, thank you so much for the comments and the DMs. I haven't been able to go through all of them, and I'm sorry about that. But as far as what you guys said is concerned, I did tell my mother that I do not wish to support the wedding. This has led to a huge fight between me and my mother. My mother thinks I'm being extremely selfish by refusing to support their union, while I have clearly stated how it is not fair that I have to design the wedding dress for someone who my ex cheated on me with. I think it is perfectly valid and perfectly normal for me to not want to do this. But my mother is yet to agree with me. She thinks I'm being cruel to everyone because I did not get to experience it myself. She keeps comparing me to herself and keeps saying that I should be like her and never give up on love and keep trying. I do not know how to make her stop without going off on her. I do not want to do that. Also, if you're wondering why my sister thinks she's going to marry my ex, who she knows for a month, I don't know. This is such a messy situation, I simply cannot imagine a way out. Update 2. Mom hates me. I kind of deserve it, I won't lie. My mom came to me to make sure I give the whole wedding dress thing another shot, and this time I went off on her. I told her I do not want to have anything to do with this wedding dress. I did my best to spell out for her that I hate the whole notion of their love being true love, whatever nonsense she believes in, because this is not very fair to me. I deserve to feel like her daughter too. I went far in my anger. I accused my mom of favoritism and trying to get on the better side of my stepdad while forgetting about me. I told her exactly what I thought about all of her quest of true love flings and told her how she was emotionally checked out since I was 13. I must admit, a lot of the things I said did not need to be mentioned, and yet I did mention them. I really wanted to mention them for a while, and I suppose that on that day, I just couldn't talk myself out of it. Since then, my mom hasn't spoken with me. It's been 2 days already. Will be 3 in a few minutes, to be honest, and I'm sure she's going to keep hating me. I'm not proud of myself for landing the low blow, but I do not want to make this stupid dress, and she simply wouldn't take no for an answer. I just don't understand why my mom thinks it's unreasonable that I wouldn't want to design a dress in which someone will marry the guy I thought was my forever. Update 3. After 5 days of not talking, we had a chat, my mom and I. She confessed that she indeed felt uncomfortable about scolding my stepsister, as she is her stepdaughter and old enough to know better. She kind of didn't say anything, even though she knew everything she was doing was messed up. Since I went off on her, my mother had gone to my stepsister and told her the dress isn't happening. This pissed her off, which led to a semi-big argument. The argument only stopped when stepdad interfered and said that it is perfectly fine for me to not want to do this. As stepdad was going to be the one to fund the wedding, stepsister could not do much. I'm glad that this was how this conflict ended. I just want to be left alone with this while they do their own thing. Last I heard about the whole wedding thing, my stepsister and my ex are having issues in their relationship. I am not even remotely surprised that they are struggling. I do believe that they'll struggle like this for a while because of karma, but okay. Either way, thank you for reading so far. Hey, OP, you're NTA if you don't want to design the dress. I understand why you'd not want to do that. It is cruel to expect you to do that. I do not understand why your mother is not doing anything in your favor. I have a feeling that it could be because she's scared of scolding a kid that is not hers, but I do not quite know for sure. NTA, OP, your boyfriend shouldn't have cheated on you. And why is your stepsister insisting on the dress when she knows him for a month? I don't understand why she's doing this. This feels like she's doing this to spite you. Don't let her get to you. You deserve so much better. Next story. Trying to keep as much anonymity as possible, here goes. My husband and I live with my mom temporarily. I have an infant. We'll call infant B. My mom and I were having conversations one night when she slipped in a comment saying, having B around is like my do-over. B is all I look forward to at the end of the day. The comment broke me for multiple reasons. My mom was not a good parent. My dad wasn't around, so I was passed to my grandparents a lot. They're basically the only real parents I have. My mom constantly chose to party and go to bars over caring for me. This started before I was even a year old. She only started acting like a parent in my late teens when I was basically an adult. Even then, she acted more as a friend. She was abusive to me as a child. I've been to therapy for it. After she made the comment about B, I started noticing things. When she's home, she tells me what to do with B, such as, you need to give B more vegetables. You need to do XYZ with B. And even tried to get me to put B in the shower with her another night after I mentioned I was giving B a bath soon. I don't even bathe with B. When in public, she constantly will take B in the cart or stroller and walk away from me or take the stroller cart from me. She will buy stuff for B and then throw it in our faces about how she provides pretty much everything for B. She calls B her baby, and I never thought too much of those things until she made the comment. I told her that B wasn't her do-over and that I deserved the version of her that B is getting. And I don't think it's fair for her to try and use my child to heal her shortcomings as a mother. She got pissed and cried and said that I was being ungrateful for what she did for me and that she did her best at the time. I'm with B all the time and never pass him off to anyone. I do everything for B. I feel like I'm a good mom. AITA for being upset with my mom? Edit. We're looking for a place to stay as to get out of her house, but rentals are limited, so we're still searching. NTA, first of all, that is weird putting the pressure on a baby to be your do-over. B just came into the world and she's trying to use B to reconcile her own issues. I understand it may be circumstantial that you have to live with your mother, but I think distance would really be best for everyone involved. NTA, but honestly, all grandkids are treated better than their parents because parenting is something you continuously learn to do better. Unfortunately, we get the not great version of the parents and the grandkids get great versions. Try to understand that grandkids will get a better version than you did and try not to be too upset. But for to explicitly say the baby is her do-over is very hurtful and I see why you're upset. Next story. When my wife and I married, we had decided that she would be a stay-at-home mom. She's Russian and had gone no contact with her family since around the time we got married, since they're alcoholics. She came here as a student. We have a 5-year-old daughter. Our arrangement was that I gave her an allowance for buying anything she wanted for herself, and then I paid for other expenses that we both agreed on. I make more than enough for all of us. It has always been a point of contention, and she wanted me to increase her allowance. Sometimes when we disagree on a purchase, like a toy for our daughter, she will use her allowance to get it, then expect me to reimburse her allowance for it. Additionally, she wants to buy expensive makeup and use it even for just going out to see friends casually. Recently, since our daughter started school, she has started doing a few gig jobs like dog walking. I was not for it, but I can't stop her from doing what she wants. However, the time she spends doing that means that she has less time to be a stay-at-home mom. So I told her recently that I expect her to pay for the house expenses proportionally to what she earns. She disagreed, and I said I could just reduce her allowance in that case as she now earns. She got quite angry with me and we fought. Things seem better now, but sometimes I feel she's still a little upset. She used some minor things against me, like the few times I asked her for the money as I did not have change for small purchases. Was I the AH here? I think it's only fair to change the arrangement now that she works. Edit. I get it. I am an AH. I know I have controlling restrictions on her. We rushed into marriage for her visa issues as she could not find a job and hence married me. I always intended to lessen them once I trusted her, and I realize I really do. My dad insisted I be careful because of what people say about Russian brides. She has an Ivy degree in physics, and I know her dream is to be in science. I will talk to her if she still wants to get a master's or try getting jobs again now that she has permanent residence. And I will tell her to just use the shared account for any expenses as long as it is not like $1,000 expense. YTA, she's your wife, not a roommate. Is your allowance the same amount as hers? I'm a stay-at-home mom and work part-time. All the money goes into our account and we sit down and do a budget every month. We each have our own account that we move personal spending money to each week. It's the same amount for both of us. Wow, YTA. So she can't use her makeup to make herself feel good? You sound rather controlling, though. She is what, earning maybe $100 a week with dog walking, and you think that's going to help with the bills? LOL. Price of life has gone up quite a bit in the last few years. I bet you never raised her allowance. YTA, you limit what you give her a month. Okay, budgeting and all that, sure. Still feels a little controlling. But there might be more to it for your situation. However, she wants more money. You say no. She finds means to earn said money she wants, and you don't like that either. It comes across as you wanting her under your thumb. Yes, she's a stay-at-home mom, and that limits what she earns because of time to do the work. But a stay-at-home parent is its own full-time job. She deserves a little independence and money of her own. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.